Welcome to By His Grace podcast. Not worthy, but worth it. I am Tanshell Ward, and I would like to welcome you to the podcast where I get to sit with guests who are here to tell their story. And I have with me on this evening a special guest, Andrea Skipper. And I would like to welcome her to the podcast. Thank you for accepting and being my special guest.
Thank you for having me, Tanya.
Yes, it is such a pleasure to have her sitting with me. She is a dear friend of my mother. I have known her for many years, and I have watched God move greatly in her life. So she is here to tell her story. But I want to formally introduce to you who she is. She is a graduate of McDonough 35 Senior High School, Ron Eagles. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. She was one of the first civilian supervisors at NOPD Communications. She is a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated sorority. She is retired with 35 years of service from Orleans Parish 911 Center. And she is a newly ordained deacon and pastor of continuation at the City of Love Church. So thank you for coming on. I can't wait to hear your story. So I always like to ask questions to find out who you are without the titles, without the degrees. So give me a word that starts with an A that defines who you are.
What came to mind was authentic.
Authentic.
Genuine.
Genuine. And what makes you think?
Real, you know. God said, I'm a masterpiece.
I know that's right.
Only
you. Only you.
Yeah. I'm like this fingerprint.
It's the only one.
Just one. So that's me.
Original, authentic, a masterpiece. That's when you know who you are based on who God says that you are.
That's it. Don't
allow the world to dictate who you are, but you have to know who God created you to be. So that is a blessing to know that you've come into the knowledge of who you are. You are also a resident of New Orleans and was reared in the city of New Orleans. What is it like being a citizen of New Orleans? What have you learned from being a part of the Big Easy?
Coming up in next month is the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. And that's resilience right there.
Yes.
New Orleans is resilient to come back from there. Working in the 911 center during Hurricane Katrina, it's a whole different world, and you try to forget it, but you'll never. But what I get, we are a resilient city. There's none like us.
Right.
And just like they say, there's nothing like a New Orleans girl.
Absolutely. Nothing like a New Orleans girl.
Yeah.
Search all over.
Yeah.
Can't find nobody.
Nothing
like a New Orleans girl.
Yes.
Yes, we are a very resilient city, and we seem to bounce back through love, through neighborhoods, through family, and the culture that we have usually allows us to come together and forget all the negative things. We can have a moment where we come together and we forget everything that's negative and come together and lose ourselves in the moment.
Absolutely.
If we continue to do it the right way.
Right.
So everything out of New Orleans is not bad. It's not a negative place. There's a lot of love down here. You see someone 3 times, they're your cousin.
I've been a lot of places and I always want to be home.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
No place like it
Yeah.
when you live your life in a way where you don't choose things that are contrary to who you are and who God has called you to be. What made you want to be a dispatcher?
Well, I was kind of forced into the 911 center.
Okay.
Because I had graduated from college. I wanted to open up a store, a clothing store. So I said, well, college, I was iffy about it, but, I wanted a business degree so I can learn all the, the ins and outs of having a business.
Right.
But when I graduated, underqualified, overqualified, I couldn't find anything. So I started subbing elementary school. And I worked every day. I love kids. I love kids. Even though I don't have any, I love kids. And one of the principals, Dr. Harper, I never forget him. He loved my work with the kids. And there was a kindergarten teacher that went on an emergency maternity leave. And he said, Skip, I got something for you. I need you to take this kindergarten class for me. That wasn't me.
Not those kindergartners.
No.
It was too many of them.
I would clearly have doing a disservice to them.
Okay.
I knew that was not the place for me. I could, you have kids that had went to pre-K, and then you had kids that just trying to hold a pencil.
Right.
So what do? You have to be, you have to have some kind of formal education for these kids. And I didn't have it. So the police department.
Okay.
Had an opening. And it's a story that not too many people know, but I think since you want to know my story,
I want to know your story.
I'm
to
going
be
to
a
tell
blessing
it.
to someone
I'm going to
else.
tell it. And I'm going to tell you like the TikTok thing says, listen, but don't judge me. So an opening came. I passed the test. I passed the typing. And it was time to take a drug test. I was dirty.
No, they didn't tell you that part.
They didn't tell me that part. But lo and behold, the female officer left early. So they told me to come back the next day. So I said, what am I doing? I know I'm dirty. What am I doing? I need this job. So I knew some people who had some clean urine. But I knew when Mad Day came, So I said, who do I go to? And lo and behold, I said, I'm going to go to the person that's going to stand by me. Whether I'm right or wrong, and I'm going to open up to her, and I'm going to my mama. And I went to it was the hardest thing. She may have suspected it, but never. And I told her, and my mom never questioned and gave me her urine. And I will never, the job that I stayed on for 35 years is because of my mother.
Wow.
It's because of my mother. Who can say that?
Yes.
Listen, but don't judge me. Don't judge me. Yeah. And when it came time for random drug testing at the police department, I could. No more. Gone. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to be.
Right.
It was recreational, but that's not what I needed. I know where I wanted to be, and I was good at it. So, occasional that could never stop me. Once my mama got me in.
And you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, mama had your back.
And I want to please my mama.
Yes.
Yeah. So, that's some tea, but that's my story.
Yes.
And, and I want, when I say the love of my mother, that's my story.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is so powerful that you speak of the love of your mother in such a manner, because I don't know if you remember when I decided to go back to grad school and my son was a baby and I wanted to go back to school, but I didn't have someone who could be a present caregiver to him. And at the time I was going through a divorce. And I said, I'm going to tell the judge to not give me anything from him. The only thing I want is for the judge to order him to get my baby while I go to school. And my mama said, before I let you do that, I'll go on a night shift. And my mama, all the years she worked 3 to 11, which was her shift.
And that's where I met her. That's where
That's
on
where she
311.
was.
Yes.
And she went on the night shift so that I could go to grad school. And I told my mother, I said, Mama, because you'll make the sacrifice for me, I'm going to give you all A's. And I went through grad school with a 4.0 because my mama made the sacrifice. So I know exactly what you are saying when a mama will step in and do only what a mother will do. And you don't have to ever hear it again. She never brought it up. All she did was stood proud when I walked across that stage and got my degree. And I said, Mama, we did it.
Nah.
We did it, Mama. So I know exactly.
Yeah. And then the job that she got me was the job that I took off almost a year and a half, family medical leave to take care of her. We paid.
I know that's right.
So,
listen. Since we talking mamas. We're talking mamas, let me tell you. Because my mama sacrificed for me. When she got sick, I gave her every ounce of leave I had to make sure she kept a check.
Okay.
My co-workers were donating time. Her co-workers were donating time. I was on a fight to make sure my mama was good because she made the sacrifice. So I know exactly what you are talking about. See, people look at the outer appearance and people come up with their own ways of judging and feeling like they know your story, but you really don't know it all. I can't even tell it right.
Pastor Fran has all women, and this is a plug, and all women Bible study starting on the 16th.
Okay.
And the topic is, it's not the container, it's the content.
Yes. Yes.
And it happens to be on the 16th, the anniversary of my mother's death.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, it's going to give me something to do. It's
Right.
something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be in church.
Yes. Celebrating.
The hospital. That's the hospital for me.
Yes.
You know.
Celebrating where you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Knowing
Yeah,
the
that.
contents within matter more than what's on the outside.
And at her service, the bishop preached, what goes in you is going to come out of you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just God. You know, when I say, but God,
Yes.
that
But God.
That-
So what
that
does
shakes-
that actually mean to you when you say, but God? Because you hashtag that.
because things that have happened in my life, nobody else can do it.
Right.
Nobody. You know, nobody can feel it. You know, nothing, nobody. But God, because it's some of the inner things that I keep within that nobody knows.
Right.
You
Because
know,
you can't even put it in words. I can't tell it to help you understand it. I don't even know how to speak it, but I had to live it.
oh my God. Oh my God.
And
you
that's
know,
how you get sometimes.
Yeah. So when I say, but God has brought me, He is blowing my mind.
Mm-hmm.
He really is, you know. And I say, yes, God, you know, don't get me wrong. You listen, don't judge me. You know, I call myself, it's like the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
I say, I'm flawed. I'm broken. I am broken. I'm flawed. I'm broken. And I'm imperfect.
Mm-hmm.
But oh, I am so worthy.
Yes, you are.
I am so.
Yes, you are.
Even with all of that, FBI, tell that, run, tell that. I am still. God still. He still bless me. He still give me new mercies, new
Yes.
grace. You know, even in it's the worst days, huh?
Right.
The mountains. But it's
That valley.
when I was
That valley experience.
late in the mid when they sing any song, any song that said lay high, I just won't throw a shot because I know about it.
Yes.
You know, that's what I know. That's what I lived. You know, with my mom and I guess with the dementia, you know, it was a grieving, and she's alive.
Right.
You know, but it's you know, and that's why I call myself, I say I am a grief advocate, because grief, people don't understand. They don't understand.
Because it has a very hard beginning. And you don't know if abrupt grief is different or if prolonged grief is different, but it is personal for each of us.
Yeah.
And while we endure the process, you never know when you're really going to get to what we deem the other side. And you never forget.
No.
You grieve forevermore.
Yeah.
It's
forever.
just that you get to the other side of being pushed by the wound.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's still a hole.
Yeah.
It's still a void. And you don't even try to feel it. Like some people try to feel grief with other things. When you're going through a process such as you and I endured, transition of a mother. We basically have to walk through this journey every day. And while people look at you and think, oh, you have it together, because they don't see the physical tears.
Right.
I can't even explain the matters of the heart that you don't get to see.
Right.
Because I can't put it in words.
Right.
And for you, those of us who have watched you love on your mother for years and years, even before the diagnosis, it was, you see you and her all the time. If you saw her, she talked about you. She talked about you. The times I've been in your company, she made sure she had her eyes on you. She wanted you good. It didn't matter age. So people talk about, that's not my baby, it's my adult child. A mother is a mother beyond the grave.
Yeah.
And that's what people who may be dealing with transition and grief and brokenness, when you look at the two of us, you are looking at daughters who are in the grieving process, while we are in different stages of it, only because everybody's process is different.
Yeah.
So I can tell my story, she can tell her story, but the true thing is you have to go through it. Don't let people tell you you have to be strong. Don't let people tell you you should be over it. Don't let people tell you it's been 5 years, it's been 10 years. You have to endure it as best as you can. And one of the things I would say to me when I was enduring, every day, I'm doing the best I can. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm doing the best I can. And while it looked bad to others, and I can be honest, some days it looked bad to me, but I was doing the best that I can. That's all I had.
Yeah. And I look at it as grief is just, it's just love.
Yes.
It's just love. And deep grief is deep love.
Right.
You know. And I say, if I have 20% and I give you 20%, I gave you my all.
Right.
At that time, I gave you my all.
That's all I had to give.
You know, and people, they mean well. You know, they mean well, because I always say, a lot of things I read, and I'm in a lot of groups for grieving and whatever, and they say, I want my mama. I wish my mama was here. I don't. In the condition that my mom was in, I don't.
Right.
I don't. But do I miss her? Oh, Lord have mercy. Yes. Yes. Do I? Yes. No. So everybody's different.
Right.
So sometimes you nobody needs to say a word to you.
Exactly.
I just want to let you know, touch you, let you know I'm here for you.
Right.
I'm here for you, and that gets me through. That I know I can touch you, I can call you, and you're here for me. But I don't.
Yes. And the worst thing,
only God knows.
The worst thing someone can say, and I know this was piercing to me. Thank God you had your mother X amount of years. That was the worst. And they thought they were being comforting. You need to thank God you had your mother 52 years, 54 years, however many years.
'Cause I lost mine at
I'm sorry that you had to endure it how you had to endure it. But if I had my way, I would have had 50 plus years more. But for me, I had to get to the point as I walked through my unhealthy grief. I was unhealthy. I will tell anyone that asks. I did not grieve in a healthy manner because I didn't want to die, but I didn't know how to live. So it's like the life was being sucked out of me. It was even so bad one time, I went to my cousin's agency after I saw a church member who called my pastor, Bishop Perry. It was his cousin. She called him and told him that she saw me in the post office and I didn't look good. But I thought I smiled at her. I gave her the best I could at the moment. And she called him and she said, I saw her and she doesn't look good. He called me. He said, where are you? I told him where I was. He said, pull over. I'm coming to meet you. He came. He met me. He got in my car. He talked to me. After the dialogue with him, I drove to my cousin's agency and I said, check my heart. I'm dying. She took out the stethoscope and engaged me. She checked my heart. She checked my vitals. She had me doing all the breathing stuff. And when she finished, she said, you're not dying, but you're grieving bad. And all I could do was lay out and pour out everything I had in me. But that was the moment of my awakening.
Yeah.
Because someone else saw what I was feeling, but I thought I had it masked. I thought I had it together when I saw her. I said, hey, hugged her, did all of that, and it was emptiness.
Yeah. You know, sometimes, you know, I take selfies or whatever, and I look in my eyes, and it's an emptiness.
Right.
You know, and, but what helped me, and Black people don't like it, therapy. The best decision I could have made, you know, the best decision I could have made. And I recommend it. And I'm glad I started in the beginning of my mom's dementia.
Right.
Going, because I, you know, like the song say, you know, I'm always referring to song, you know, when I look back and I think it, I don't know where I'd be without God and somebody just not to tell me anything, not to tell me how they feel, not to tell me what this person did that. Just let me pour.
Yes.
You know, let me scream, let me just do anything I can to get this off me, because just imagine, I just came from 30 years of the police department. Doom and gloom and murders and just every day, all day. I came straight from that to my mom. She said, you should have been here.
Right.
You know, you should have been here. You know, and from that role of, I don't have no kids. I didn't want kids, you know, but the roles reversed.
Right.
I thought I had a great mother, but I found out she was amazing.
Yes.
Because what she poured in me, I gave it back to her, you know, and that's what comforted me, you know, God, you know, and I always say, thank you for the loan. Thank you for the loan.
He loved you enough to give you his best, huh? Thank you, Lord.
That means, you know, that means even, flawed,
Absolutely.
broken, imperfect, he's still, that man still, he still loved, he's still,
Yes.
I'm still, yeah, so, you know, yeah, so, you see me, But now you know a little bit more about me. And it's all because of God.
Yes. A nothing but God situation.
Nothing.
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 But God. And I know how you had to navigate day in and day out on your job. How was it like being on the other side of the call on a continual basis? Because I know sometimes as the caretakers and the call takers and being there for people and wanting to hear people at their worst, that can be a challenge.
Yeah. Well, the job is not for everybody.
Right.
You know. And I think they are and will always be the unsung heroes.
Yes.
You know, they don't get enough credit because to deal with something, no pleasantries all day, you know, and then we had gone to 12 hours of it, you know. You can't take it personal. And what I found is it hardened my heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Because every call is a call for help. Every call.
And every call is the emergency to the person that's calling. Huh?
Every call is. No one calls to say, hello, how you doing? I'm just calling to say you're beautiful. I'm just calling to see how you feeling. Every call is someone in dire need.
Yeah. So I found in my situation, I couldn't help the children, so I couldn't help the children.
Not that many children. Give you one baby. Let me love on this one, but not 35.
I couldn't help the children, but God said, I'll make a way for you so you can go help. This is where I need you to be. This is where I need you to be. And I find myself now, I call myself a crybaby, you know, because I've been hard for that job. You have to,
right?
You know, and it was a situation like with New Year's Day, the terrorist attack,
right?
I saw that when that happened, it's in my heart. It didn't, the murders, the people, listen, don't judge me, that didn't come to my mind at first. My mind went to, what was that 911 center like?
Right.
When that
came through, the people that you cared for as the supervisor. Because you had to care for the dispatchers.
Everybody in there, just...
Right.
We never, you never had that before. In 35 years, I've had a terrorist. Who do we call?
Mass casualties everywhere. And I'm sure the calls were coming in crazy.
But my thought went to that 911 center. And I saw the police were, you know, honored, EMS and fire, and very well so, you know, but I never saw nobody else. You know, in that, how could you leave them out?
Right.
They were the ones who they were the ones that were getting people there. I need you over here. I need you over there. That's the operator. How many calls she took that says, I see my friend down,
Right.
So, and the 911 center will always have a space in my heart because I'm telling you.
Right.
When you call 911 for me, be kind. I know it's an emergency. I know, but it's a lot.
Right.
It's a lot. It's a lot because, with that call, you don't get a chance to recoup from that last call that lady done cuss you out because, you know, she's still waiting for the police. But if you don't have nobody, you don't have nobody.
Right. Yeah,
You know.
it's
So,
such a
yeah,
trying thing.
yeah. So, it's my journey, it's my truth, it's my story that when I look back over my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I think things over.
But
Yeah.
and what a lot of people don't understand as first responders and call takers, you don't get to say today is not a good day for me personally. You know, I have stuff going on at home, and I'm here trying to do my job. And like you said, someone calls and they're irate and they feel like they're being pushed to the side, but you're doing the best you can because so many emergencies are coming through. And while you may think your situation is bad, it's not as bad as the other caller. So now we have to prioritize and we have to send resources where we can, and we'll get to you, but people don't understand that.
Yeah. And I guess in that situation, you never will.
Right, you can't.
You know, because all you know is I want them now.
Right.
Huh?
Yeah.
I want them now.
Exactly.
You know, and when you pick up that phone, you the mayor, you the police chief, you the and all those other names. You know, so yeah. So my heart is, you know, 911. My heart is 911.
Right, and sometimes y'all have to become on the spot counselors and negotiators.
Yeah.
Because
but
you're helping it.
All of that, Tashelle, was preparation.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Huh?
Like, how you going to navigate this and navigate this? You have so many roles to play.
It was preparing me.
Yes, because you don't know what's going to happen.
That's something, you know. Every step of my, I can see it. And, you know, God, I see what you're doing. I see what you did. You know, you let me help all of them people, you know, navigated this, sending this, that, and that. But you put me in a situation with my mama that I've never been in before, with the one I love the most.
Right.
And I have no idea. When COVID hit, that was the test.
Mm-hmm.
That was the test right there. It was me and my mama. Nobody else could come.
Right.
I wouldn't allow nobody in there. You know.
You had to protect her. You had to protect
and
her.
baby, it was days. My mama would stay up 24 hours like nothing, like nothing to it, like nothing to it. And I kept on saying, God, you know, because I look at God, I know it's your doing, but you are my Father. I have questions.
Yes.
You know, I heard never question God. Yeah, because I know when I ask him a question,
Right.
he's going to give me an answer.
Exactly.
Not in my time, though. Because,
Right.
He was like, I want you to sit. I want you to sit, girl.
Yes.
Sit in this.
But people need to know just what you said. It's not that we don't get to ask God a question. We don't question how he responds. Because he wants us to come to him. And if you have a question, you ask. But when God responds, you don't question the response. Because we're limited to what we see. But God sees our tomorrow.
Yeah.
And while we don't understand what's happening right now, God sees us in the future. So while you don't
Yeah.
understand this part, God is like, this is preparation.
He's He's working it out. He's
Because
working it out. Yeah.
I am working it out in your favor. All I need you to do is trust me. So to anyone out there, I say, ask God a question if you have a question.
Yeah.
He's your Father. He wants us to come to him. But we have to live by faith. We have to trust that he can and know that he will. But we don't question how he responds. How he responds in his timing, we have to accept it. That's the part we don't get to question.
Right. Absolutely.
But you definitely ask God a question.
Yeah.
So that is great that you knew. God, I have questions.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask them.
Yeah.
Who ordered this part? What?
That's my mama.
What?
She don't know who I am. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes.
But God knew I was about to, I think I was about to flatline with my mama didn't know who I was. But what she said was, I'm about to get on the phone and call Andrea.
So she knew who had her back.
Because when I call her, I know she coming.
Huh.
And Tanshell,
Huh.
I stood up. And that's all. That's all. That's
Yes.
all.
Oh, you gave me chills.
You don't have to say another word, boo.
You know, Andrea is coming. Call her. That's what you like. Call Andrea. She got your back. Isn't that something?
Yeah. And I know that was God.
Yeah.
Because my mama don't know who. That was just taking me. That was taking me out.
Right.
I thought I would die. You know, because this was unheard of. I don't know nothing about.
Right.
I know nothing about it. You know, and but you know, it's just, you know, when I say but God, you know, and I'm not perfect. I'm flawed, but God is good. He's amazing. And after my mom passed, we went on a retreat for the church, and they were writing scriptures on a brick. And it was, my mom passed July, it was October, and I was really out about it.
Right.
Really, you know, I know what I needed. I needed the retreat. I needed to be around like people in the Word of God. I know what I needed or whatever. So before we were leaving, I think they were raffling off a brick. And lo and behold, I won the brick. And it was Psalms 118, the 17th verse, that said, you will not die.
Mm-hmm.
You will live and declare the works of the Lord. So, you looking at a dying, I was a dying soul.
Mm-hmm.
But that, God,
You didn't know why you needed to be at the retreat, but God needed to show you you were going to live. Out of all the people there, you win the brick. But God.
And that's all I needed to know, God. Huh? You're not going to die. You want to live. Just declare your goodness.
Yes.
And that's my purpose.
Yes.
I don't care. Flawed, broken. Yeah, you see me dance. Yeah. But when it comes to God,
Because you don't know what I had to do to get here.
the price I paid.
The price I'm still paying. Just waking up every day. And the day you see smiles, it doesn't mean that I have it all together. It just means that right now is a good moment. Because I don't even know what tomorrow brings. But right now is a good moment.
Day to day.
Day after day.
Day to day. And even in my bad days, I praise you, God. I worship you. Because he didn't say it was going to be easy.
Mm-mm.
He said it was going to be trials. That's what I understand. You know how God led people. He didn't say. But if I trust you, I'm going to come out of it.
Everything gonna
If I
be
bring
all
you out, if I go in the fire and I know I got you with me, I'm not worried. It's going to hurt. It might tear me to pieces. But I'm never going to waver that you're not there. I've never felt that he left me by myself. You know.
And he always sends a confirming word to prove himself to you over and over again. And that's the praise part about God, is that we don't know. We can't figure it out. You can't speak it. You can't write it. You can't get it dressed up. But you just have to keep holding on.
Yeah.
To
his
who
unchanging
he is.
hand. Yeah, his
Yes.
unchanging.
Yes.
Man gonna change on you.
Absolutely.
Fair weather friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But
and I don't care. We watch your journey with your mother, and you loved her openly. And you have so many videos and stories and things you share about her. But no one knows what you endured when the camera was off. And while it is a blessing to watch you love on her openly, and she was so vibrant.
Yeah.
Even in her days where she was being challenged by her illness, she still remembered who she was.
Yeah.
And she didn't have a problem telling you how she took a stance.
When I say okay, that means
she does.
yeah.
And she would sit there and eat her food.
Our talks.
The talks are so precious, and it is so good because I love to see when you share moments like that.
Yeah.
And especially when you ask her a question and she know her response is going to be something you probably don't want to hear. She laughs before she say it, like you really want to know. So it's like, oh, wait, let me think. And she take a moment and collect herself and figure out how she's going to speak it to you.
Yeah. And
so precious.
Yeah, that's my therapy, and to write it out, and and it's just ironic that you are the one, my best friend daughter, to really speak it out, to speak it. And Pastor Fran saw that in me when we had, she had something about a intentional prayer, and my prayer was, to be a grief advocate. So, so I can help somebody.
Right.
Because, I just, and that's my purpose. And, and that's what I want to do. Get somebody, get somebody through it. You don't have, to get somebody through it and to let them know you're not alone. Right. Most of all, you're not alone.
Right.
Your journey is your journey. I'm not trying to get in your journey. I just want to tell you, I'm here.
Right. And when you've gone through it, the way that you and I have. You can sit in a space and not speak a word and let someone lay out before you and give it all to God. Just know I'm covering you. I'm not trying to shut it down. I'm not telling you to be strong. I'm not going to give you a tissue, a napkin. I'm going to let you get it out. And when you get up, I covered you. Because people need to know that they can be covered in their moments of vulnerability and not worry about it getting out. Because losing a mother is truly a nothing but God situation. And it's not that you don't believe that God covered her. You don't believe that God took her up into his own. It's not that you don't believe that. But it's a loss of the presence.
Yeah.
And then, people will say, well, your mother is with God in this. It's the presence. You can't tell me how to feel about the loss of the presence. I trust God. I believe in God. And one thing I had to do is I had to come to the realization for me. Lord, if you had to break my heart to give her the desire of hers, I was willing to be the sacrifice. And that's what enabled me to shift my way of thinking about the moment. Because while July 17th, 2009 shifted my life forever. And when I woke up the next day, I couldn't imagine what is happening. But as I navigated this process in an unhealthy way, I might have to add that part, I had to realize I became the sacrifice. Because I don't know what my mother prayed. I don't know what she prayed as she endured. And I said to myself, what if she prayed, Lord, I'm tired? What if she prayed, I can't do this anymore, in her state?
Right.
And I had to become the sacrifice. That's what shifted for me. And I was like, Mama, if I had to be the sacrifice. But that's love, like we talk about. It's that love thing where I love you enough to give you all of me. And if I had to be the sacrifice in love for you to rest in the bosom of the Lord, I'm willing to be the sacrifice. Yeah. I did it for you. Yeah. So if that's what it had to be, Lord, I thank you.
Yeah, because I said, you taught me everything but how to live without you.
That's what I said too.
But you did teach me how to live because you introduced me to God. You did. And you did.
I remember the day my mama passed. And I was here as they were working on her. And the only thing that I could say to her was, we didn't talk about this part. You told me everything. You telling me this, you telling me that, you doing this and you doing that. But we never talked about this part. When did we get here? When did we get here?
Even if you talked about it.
But that's a talk she wasn't willing to have with me. Because she even said she didn't know how I would live without her to one of my relatives. So she knew. That's why when we say God is in the plan, God makes sure I was not here that morning.
Yeah.
Because God had a plan that didn't include me. Include me. So another friend intercepted, came to the house, and the thing about it is the whole 911 center came. But the thing that was so different with my mother is she worked along with you at the time. And when the call came through, y'all automatically knew it was the house.
And I was on my way to work, and, why would you tell me that while I'm driving? Huh?
It was a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
So we had to do it on different levels, but that lets people know that every journey is different.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to tell people in the grieving process to do it our way, to feel how we feel. We're just sharing that it's a nothing but God situation. Because what you are looking at now are two ladies who had unmeasurable love for mothers. And we had to be a part of the caregiver journey. And then we ultimately had to shift it to allowing God to care for us as we endured the other side.
Yeah.
So this is actually a message on not just being stuck in grief, but two that understand the grieving process. That's what we're here to talk about on this episode. And we have different approaches to it, but we did the best that we could. And don't let people tell you time makes a difference. Because my journey began in 2019. I'm sorry, 2009. 2009 is when my journey began. And I'm still on the journey. So don't let people tell you that it should look a certain way. Because time has passed. You want to make sure that you walk in wellness, in healing, and that has to come through God from the inside out. Truly from the inside out.
Yeah, he'll get you through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I am a witness. He'll get you through it.
Right.
You know, many times I can barely lift my head off the pillow. I don't want to. Mm-hmm. You know, and my body feels that July 16 is coming, that my mom's birthday is coming, and I'm embracing it. You know, it doesn't feel good. Right. No, it don't. It don't. It don't. But I'm going to sit in it because God going to get me out of it.
Yes, he is.
You know. So.
And guess what? God is there with you as you endure. Because it's a day-by-day process. And what I had to do for me is I no longer give my personal attention to the 17th. I don't really say anything. I will comment on others who post, but I no longer post because I said it all. I've done it all. I've given it all. I much rather for me to celebrate who she is and who she was to me and the life that she lived and what she instilled. So I stopped giving the 17th my attention because that's the day that rocks me to the core. And I decided...
It'll never be the same.
Yeah, I decided this day will not define her. She is bigger. She is more. She meant more than July the 17th. So that's why I'm around it. But it's whatever works.
Yeah.
For everybody. I say whatever works for you. And what is so different about me dealing with the transition is that I have to take continuing educational hours every year for my profession. And I had taken classes that I had never taken before, right before July 17th. I took Healing the Wounded Healer. I took Grief and Dying. The only reason why I took those classes is because I had never studied those areas before. What I did not know is
God
God had me in training, and God had
Preparation.
me getting prepared for what's to come. And I only said, I even told her, girl, I'm taking these classes because I never really worked with anybody grieving, and I'm sharing this with her as I'm preparing for the classes, not knowing that I was going to have to pull out that material and read it from the other side. And the healing, the wounded healer, became the catalyst, the backbone of the therapeutic process. But I had to sit. It's as if I'm sitting on one side reading it and then jump on the other side as the client. But that's what I had to go through. And it actually prepared me without me knowing. So God is intentional about us.
Yeah. Because you're worthy.
Yeah. So whenever people say something happened with us, God is always intentional. Just doesn't happen by happenstance.
Right.
When he has his hands on you. So when God says go, go. When God says sit, sit. When he has something he needs you to learn, learn it.
Yeah.
Because he's not just used when we need him, when we get ourselves in trouble. When he comes to see about us, he is coming to see about us at all times. Just as you said, police and your job and the roles you played at work prepared you for the caregiver role. Yeah. Yeah. God is intentional about us. And he gives us what we need, even before we ask. So just imagine when you ask.
Yes.
Imagine when you ask.
Yeah. So, yeah. And it's, and I want to tell you, Tanshel, my heart is full. When I look at you, I see your mom, and she's smiling. And I know both of them are smiling,
Yes.
Yeah. And that we both have the love of God, which is everything.
Right.
It's not what we have. It's not what we've accomplished. It's none of that. It's the love of God.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I want to tell you, I am so, yeah, we gonna laugh. Yeah. This was intentional,
Yes.
This was, for you to see the God in me.
Absolutely.
And to look at you and see the God in you.
Thank you.
My heart is full.
And you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
I am so proud of you. I am watching you. And you recently became ordained.
Yeah. Funny story.
As a deacon.
Yeah, funny story.
Congratulations on that. And God is showing you that he has so much more for you to do.
Yeah, because, Bishop called me Deacon Skipper, and I thought it was a joke because that's how, him and I are,
Right.
And not knowing that, he was elevating me, and that night, my mama was elevated,
Wow.
So, I don't take that lightly.
Right.
I don't take that lightly because, I live to make my mom proud. And how I'm going to make it in this life is I want to live a good life from my heart. Not what I have, but from my heart.
Right.
Because God sees everything, but it's your heart.
Right.
You know, and if I live right, I'm not perfect, but if I live right and try to have a clean heart, that I'm going to see God.
Yes.
And when I see God,
Yes. You've been found faithful. You've been found faithful. And while we don't understand it, we can't imagine it for ourselves. And I thank you for seeing God in me, but I would have never imagined myself here, especially without my mother. Would have never imagined, because she was the one doing the speaking in the church now. She was
that was
the
my
one,
church friend.
She was the one in all the church programs.
Huh?
But who would have thought that through God's, and even in my brokenness, when you have nothing else to give, you can't figure it out, nothing you can come up with, and God reaches down and says, here I am, trust me.
Yeah.
Hold on to me, I've got you. Because there's nothing you could think about that will say, okay, I'll do this and it's going to be okay. If I do that, because you try to figure it out.
Right.
But what do you do when you have nothing to give? I don't even know how to put this together. Lord, who ordered this for? But if you brought me to it, you will bring me through it. So let's go.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And you are doing great work in the kingdom.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
And you've also been elevated to the pastor of continuation.
Yeah, that's when members of the church, when a loved one transitioned, and you know how they always say, you're getting the phone calls now, and you're getting the visitors and all of that, but later on, life, and people go about their life. And continuation is keeping in touch.
Right.
Just to let somebody know, hey, we haven't forgotten about you. You know, even though life has went on, whatever, checking on you.
Right.
Just a check-in. Yeah. To let that the church is praying for you and we haven't forgotten about you.
Right.
And, sometimes that's all somebody needs to know, that, yeah. And maybe it's the day that they need to hear that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because God is intentional, so He'll send you when you need to be sent.
So that was, perfect for me. And just like I said, the shepherd, I'm going back to Bishop Love, he knows, and that's where he placed me, and I say yes. Great. I say yes. Yeah.
And it's great that you are under a covering with a bishop who is also a pastor in your life.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference from preachers and teachers and pastors.
They are my spiritual parents,
Great.
Even, we don't, even if we're not talking, whatever, when I go to church, we connected, because I always tell them, stay out of my business. Stay out of,
But that's when you know it's God.
Yeah.
That's when people think if they tell the pastors all their business, and then sometimes people will repeat what you've told them, and they think that must be God. Well, you sat there and you gave them all the information. All they did was reword it and gave it back to you. But when someone is truly anointed and called by God, You don't even have to tell them what's going on with you. The Spirit of God will give them what they need to be exactly what you need at that time. That's how you know it's God.
Yeah, I can look at, Pastor Fran, and she know I need a hug.
Today is a day you need a hug.
Yeah.
No words, just
no
a
words.
hug.
No words. Yeah. They have been a blessing in my life. And, I've just been blessed all around.
Good. Thank God for that.
Yeah. To God be the glory.
That's my song. To
For the
God be the
things.
glory. Yes.
Girl, I turn all it. I will turn all this over.
Yes, to God be all the glory.
Yeah.
When you're walking as a
good.
testament
Yeah.
of the faithfulness of God, because that's what we are representing here.
Yeah.
The faithfulness of God, while broken, while not being able to figure it out, while grieving, while hurting. It's the faithfulness of God that kept us.
Yeah.
And it's continuously keeping us.
Yeah. Not only. Yeah.
You have any last words you want to say to anyone that may be on this journey?
I recommend Jesus.
Yes.
I'm a living witness that things, people, drugs, that's not the answer. God is the answer. That's it, and that's all. That's all you need.
Exactly. And I would just say to you, own your truths. Don't let people dictate to you how it should look. If today is not a good day, say it. Today is not a good day. Don't let people make you think that you should always be, I trust God. I believe in God. Or if you know the words, you shouldn't do this. If you praying, you shouldn't worry. Today is not a good day. So own your truths and endure your process with God the best you can. Don't give up the fight. While it may get rough sometimes, when you wake up in the morning, you thank God for that day and you start anew. Don't be defined by yesterday, and don't beat yourself up worrying about what's tomorrow. Get up every day and thank God for a new day. This is Tansha Ward. I want to thank my special guest.
I love you.
I love you too. Andrea Skipper, my mother's bestie, for being on here and sharing with us. Thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you.
You are doing great work. I am so proud of you. You keep up the fight.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Keep up the fight in Jesus' name. Follow me for more content such as this. Tansha Ward by His Grace podcast can be found on Facebook and YouTube. I love you, and may God continue to bless you. You have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you at the next episode. Bye-bye.